Well, good evening, Zoo Brew crew. Welcome to the 2020 season of Zoo Brew. Yes, this is a round of applause. Come on, everybody. We're in a bunch of different rooms around here. Yeah, we're social distancing, all that kind of stuff, but this is the important thing. Zoo Brew is up and going for 2020. Thank you for joining us here today. Now, we're going to be raising glasses, and we're going to be, drawing awareness to all the various animals at the Blank Park Zoo, raising a bunch of money. Had some really cool things that we're talking about. We had 5 different local breweries and a couple of different wineries that made sure you wouldn't go thirsty during this evening's activities, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a little bit. About an hour is what we're going to spend with you here tonight. We're going to go behind the scenes at the zoo, going to learn a little bit about one of the breweries and what they're doing very special. Tony and Jerry are upstairs, folks, Pianapalooza. They're going to perform live for us a couple of times, and opportunities to bid on some very, very cool packages. But I know what you're watching right now, and you're wondering what in the world is going to be happening with Zoo Brew in 2020. We know how much fun Zoo Brew is. It's a gathering of people at the zoo, all with a common good. And here is the deal. We are monitoring the situation each and every day. And as soon as we can, we are going to have a Zoo Brew back at Blank Park Zoo. But we're going to be very careful about that. If you want to keep up to speed on what's happening, Facebook is going to be your best choice. So go to Facebook, go there every single day and get an update as to what is happening. As soon as Zoo Brew hits, we're going to be talking about it on Facebook. We're going to be talking about it on Iowa Live. Jackie and I will definitely mention that. So Zoo is one of our favorite places of the entire Des Moines metro area. We want to get things up and going. It is going again. In case you haven't heard, the time ticket is really working well at the Blank Park Zoo. We want to increase the numbers of people that are there, but we're doing everything that we can. But we did something that was really cool last week, that was very unique. You had a chance to buy some beer and some wine and some merchandise and then celebrate with us tonight during this virtual Zoo Brew. Michaela, why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining in to our first ever virtual Zoo Brew. My name's Michaela and I'm one of the events coordinators here at Blank Park Zoo. And we just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek as to what happened yesterday and the day before. So Monday and Tuesday before this went live, we actually had a beer pickup at the zoo. And it went so well. And we just wanted to take the time to say thank you so much to all of the local breweries and everybody for all of their support. So cheers to you.
That was so cool, and it worked out rather well. And so thank you for everybody that did come out and get the merchandise and the beer and the wine and that are celebrating with us today. I know you're watching now. You're going, hey, Lou, that's a pretty cool shirt you have on there. Check this out. Optimistic. That Zoo Brew is going to be happening live real soon. That's one of the new Zoo Brew shirts that are out. Here's the other one right over here. The best beers are the ones we drink to save wildlife. That is really a great statement, but these are the things that you're going to have a chance to get. Now, if you want to order these, you can get the merch. Go to the comments area all night long, and you can find the links and find out how to get these things. You can order these through Sunday at about 8 o'clock, and then you can come and pick them up next Tuesday and Wednesday over at the zoo. So, supporting the zoo has never looked better than being optimistic and getting a cool shirt like this right here. But we're just about set to do a toast. And from what I understand, there's a whole bunch of people that are partying in their driveways. You guys are partying in your backyards, socially distancing, of course, the safe way. Just used to go to Zoo Brew each and every week just to get things done. Well, we're going to continue to do this, and we are going to raise our glasses right now. And we're going to do something we have never done before, too. This is the first virtual Zoo Brew. We're going to do a virtual clink. So I want you to grab your beverage of choice, your beer, your wine, your soft drink, and we're going to clink our glasses. Okay, so take your glass and go to your little device, handheld device, your phone or your computer. Don't spill it all over the keyboard. Here we go. Let's virtual clink. Everybody clink. Here's to you, Zoo Brew, and all the animals that benefit from our weekly gatherings to celebrate the camaraderie in the quest for a common goal, the betterment of wildlife everywhere. Cheers, everyone. That tastes so good. So this is what Zoo Brew is all about. Also, when Zoo Brew is back at the Blank Park Zoo, you're going to notice the cool glasses we have. These are biodegradable cups, and this year Green State Credit Union is helping us put these cups, making these cups available. So thank you so much, Green State Credit Union. As a matter of fact, here's a message from those guys.
Hi, my name is Ann Schmerdla, and I'm the new President and Chief Executive Officer at the Blank Park Zoo. And I want to thank you for joining us for our first Zoo Brew virtually. I want to give a special recognition and thanks to our presenting sponsor, Acura of Johnston. With their support, they have made this event happen. And I want to thank you for joining us for this event and supporting the Blank Park Zoo in our mission of saving animals in the wild. It costs about $19,000 a day to care for our animals, most of which are endangered in the wild. And our goal is to save all species and protect them for future generations. I also want to thank you for your flexibility and for joining us in this new format of Zoo Brew, and I hope you really enjoyed the event and the activities that we have put together. Thank you again to our presenting sponsor, Acura of Johnston, and have a great night, everybody.
There you go. That is the brand new leader of the Blank Park Zoo. Ann, our buddy, just took over on Monday. She is the new CEO and president of the zoo. Now, the theme of tonight's Zoo Brew is supporting on the local level and the global scale. And when you participate in Zoo Brew, you're doing that in so many different ways, from giving back to the businesses of the local brewery or wineries, allowing Zoo Brew to continue to support global conservation movements, like the International Rhino Foundation, for example. Your dollar is going so far. It is so cool. And this morning on Iowa Live, we were so lucky to tell you all about and show you about something really cool that happened over at the Blank Park Zoo. It's a new baby. Yes, there's a new baby macaque, the snow monkey. We had a brand new snow monkey. It was born a male Japanese macaque, born at the zoo on May the 13th, 2020. Now take a look at look at that guy. Is he cool or what? Now this is the 6th Japanese macaque born at the zoo since they restarted their breeding program in 2009. Now this infant was born to Maya, who was born at the zoo over in 2012. Now one of the things that you have to remember when the Blank Park Zoo first restarted the breeding program, snow monkeys have never seen the behavior of rearing the infants, so they had to be taught. And the keepers had to really teach them. They had to hand raise the babies and teach the macaques how to care for the babies. They were even showing them videos of how that was going on. But here is the deal. We have a baby boy macaque at the Blank Park Zoo, and the baby boy needs a name. And that's where you come into play right now. Now, over in the comments area, you can go down to the comments area right now, and we can start bidding on your ability to give the baby monkey a name. So we need a baby boy monkey name. So be creative. Go down there and check this out. The proceeds are going to go support the zoo, of course. Going to support helping out the snow monkeys and all that. And it's going to go on until about 8 o'clock. Okay, tonight. So at 8 o'clock tonight, we will know a winner of who the snow monkey is going to be named after. Somebody's going to have something really cool that is going on there. Now, we have a couple of other really neat auction items that are going to be out. Everything is down in the comments area. So keep that in mind if you're trying to figure out where to go to find some of the auction items, to figure out what is going on. Go to the comments area. There are people standing by. They will communicate with you. So they'll take care of that. Jenny's over there. I'm watching her right now on the keyboard, communicating with folks right now. And at the same time, if you make donations, there's a running total that's going to be going too. So throughout the evening, we're going to be able to give you an idea of where things stand right now. But again, naming of the baby monkey is going to end at 8 o'clock tonight. Go to the comments area and take care of that. Now, that is one awesome animal right there. But there's another awesome animal, and a couple of them, actually, I think 4 of them, over at the Blank Park Zoo that Ryan know who we're talking about next. Check this out.
Hey Zoo Brewers, thank you so much for joining us at the first ever virtual Zoo Brew. I'm here with Keeper Roy to learn a little bit more about the rhino crash here at Blank Park Zoo. Hey Roy, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's great to be here.
All right, so my first question is something that I know a lot of you are wondering. Is there any chance that Ayana will have another baby anytime soon?
Oh, that's a great question. So right now, Ayana has her current calf, who's only a year old, in April. So generally they wean their calves between 6 months to a year, sometimes a little longer. So she's still nursing occasionally, but eventually mom will start to reject her. So it's kind of just waiting for that to happen before but she is part of the breeding program, so we hope eventually to have more calves.
Awesome. So why do rhinos roll around in the mud?
The mud for them, it actually acts as almost like a sunscreen, And rhinos don't have sweat glands, so it also helps to cool them off, and also like a bug repellent. So you'll see a lot of animals do the same thing, roll in mud to kind of give themselves that layer of protection and thermoregulate. So
Awesome. Are eastern black rhinos endangered?
yes, they are. They are currently critically endangered, with their numbers around 5,000 in the wild. But that is on the rise, which is a great thing due to the conservation efforts that have been increasing here lately. So
Definitely, yeah. And a little later in the program, we'll hear more about how the Blank Park Zoo is involved in conservation efforts near and far. So I've heard that the rhinos are quite the artists. How are they able to paint?
what we do for our rhino paintings is we let them use their upper lip, so they have the prehensile lip that's kind of to a point. So we'll apply paint to a canvas, and it's trained behavior with especially Keanu. So we'll place the paint on the canvas and then target them to the canvas, and they know to move up and down, and they'll smear the paint around.
So is there a purpose for the hair on the tops of the rhino's ears?
So rhinos, they do have some hair like across their like legs and stuff, and on their tail, and they do have the tufts on their ears. There's not a definite suggestion as to what it is. It could be possibly protection for the delicate edges from the sun to keep them from burning or cracking, or when they're pushing through bushes and stuff. But it's kind of no certain definition of why it's there.
Do the rhinos make any sounds as forms of communication?
Yeah, so occasionally you'll hear, they do vocalizations, so you'll hear a lot of the younger rhinos making this high-pitched, it's kind of like a squeal almost. But a lot of the noises you'll hear the rhinos make are huffs and like gasps of air, just making loud grunts and stuff.
What do the rhinos' diets mainly consist of?
So here at the zoo, they receive a lot of hay and grass hay, and also alfalfa and a pelleted food. And in the wild, they are browsers, so they do eat a lot of trees and shrubbery, and that's what the prehensile lip helps them with, is to grab these branches and pull them in their mouth. So.
Yeah, you can kind of tell in the shot right now, they're going for the branches and browse out there.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Do rhinos have one sense that's strongest in particular, or are all their senses pretty strong?
Right, so rhinos have absolutely horrible eyesight, so they generally, some people say it's like 30 feet is like the max distance, and then it's kind of really blurry after that. But their sense of smell and hearing is really, really sensitive, so that's what they depend on the most. And I'd say probably their hearing is the most astute of them, but that's what they mainly depend on, is their hearing and sense of smell.
Gotcha. Are rhinos mostly active during the daytime, at nighttime, kind of a mix in between?
It can be both. In the wild, most rhinos spend the daytime sleeping to kind of avoid the heat, but a lot of them are active dusk and in the evening, but they will be active during the day, just depending on what the weather is and stuff. Here at the zoo, they often spend the day napping and then are up on and off throughout the day. So,
Kind of sounds like me.
yeah.
Is there any major difference between this species, the eastern black rhinos, and other different types of rhinos?
Yeah, so one of the differences you'll see, especially between the black and white rhinos, is the shape of their upper lip. So like I was mentioning before, the black rhinos have this almost prehensile lip that comes to a V that they can use to manipulate objects, because they are browsers, so they're reaching for branches and stuff. Whereas like the white rhinos have more of a square lip because they're more of grazers. There's also differences in horns, so some of them only have one horn, or the size of the horn varies. And there's also a difference between the male and female. Usually the male's horns are thicker and the females are a little thinner. But yeah, there's quite a few differences between the different species.
Gotcha. Awesome, and I know this is pre-recorded right now, but we did want to just let you all know that if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the comments, and we'll have someone live who's going to be typing answers right back to you. So if you have any other questions about the rhinos that we haven't covered yet, go ahead and throw them in the comments, and we'll have someone answer that for you right away. And then one more question, and this is a big one. Is there one rhino that you're most fond of in particular here?
I love them all. Keanu kind of has won my heart more than the others just because he's a lover, so he likes the attention. So I'd say probably right now it's Keanu.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Roy. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Hey everybody, I'm Tara with Green State Credit Union, and we've been a proud supporter of Zoo Brew for the past 3 years. We want to welcome you to the virtual kickoff of this season's Zoo Brew. We can't wait till we can do it again in person, but in the meantime, we encourage you to continue to support local and support global.
Thanks, Tara. Again, that is so cool. They're helping us out with the mugs here this year, too. The glasses that are biodegradable. That is so neat. But the animals that we just saw before that, the rhinos over at the Blank Park Zoo. And Roy, I have to agree, Keanu, probably my favorite, too. Because you have to remember, Keanu, it's one guy, 3 gals in that enclosure there. The crash of rhinos. By the way, did you know that's what they call a whole bunch of rhinos? They're called a crash of rhinos. So you just learned something here this evening. You probably didn't even realize that was going to happen. But that is really a neat thing. But one of the things that I like most about Keanu is, did you realize that Keanu is an artist? Keanu paints. We witnessed this firsthand at the Blank Park Zoo. Check this out. This is one of the creations of Keanu over here as we take a look. That he paints that with his upper lip. And they have the paints, they put it on the board there, on the actuals, the mat itself, and he smears it around. There's the one that's on the screen here. You have a chance. I'm going to reach down underneath here. These are a couple of the paintings that Keanu made when we were in there, and he showed us what was going on. How cool is this? And just different type of things, and you have a chance to get a painting just like this. These are not reprints. These are actually done by Keanu himself. Now, the packages are a little different. There's 3 different ones that are available right now in the comments area. If you go to the comments area, you'll be able to check those out. There's some that involve wine. There's some that involve behind-the-scenes tours, things like Zoo Brew passes. So they're all just a little bit different, but you can get things like this and paintings created by Keanu help out the Blank Park Zoo at the same time. That is really neat. But there's something else you can do involving the rhinos at the Blank Park Zoo. And Eric from Confluence Brewery, he has something very special for everybody to keep in mind. Check this out.
Hi, Zoo Brew crew. I'm Eric Sealander, and I'm the Sales and Distribution Manager for Confluence Brewing Company. Just wanted to thank everyone for supporting Blank Park Zoo and Confluence Brewing Company during these very strange times of social distancing practices. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about our beer that's coming out. This is we've been doing it for a few years now. It's Ayana's Rhino Rye, and we named it after Ayana, who's an Eastern Black Rhino at the Blank Park Zoo. I remember seeing an email from the Blank Park Zoo with Ayana playing with one of our kegs. John, our owner, had donated a decommissioned keg that the rhinos had been using to scratch their backs and charge at and bash around and play with. And I just thought that was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. Just got me incredibly excited. John had just come up with a recipe for a really, really awesome rye double IPA. And we were looking for a name, and we of course like to tie things into local. So I said, what about a Rhino Rye? And I said, oh my gosh, what about Ayana's Rhino Rye? And then we all kind of laughed and had a chuckle. We're like, okay, that'll work. And then we decided we were going to do a barrels aged version of it. And I said, what about Keanu's cut? Because obviously Ayana and Keanu are the two mom and dad at the zoo. Artwork on the can is really fun. Ayana means beautiful flower. So of course we had a little rhino in a diaper sitting on a beautiful flower. So we thought that was pretty fitting and pretty cool. I remember originally after doing the beers, I got a letter in the mail from the Blank Park Zoo, and I still have it on my office desk today. It was really neat. There was just a little piece of artwork that I looked at, and I was like, what is this? It looks like finger painting. And it says painted by Keanu, the male black rhino at the Blank Park Zoo. So the rhinos have been thanking us for naming beers after them by sending us artwork. John has a one on a canvas in his office that was painted by Ayana, Keanu, and Tumani, which is pretty cool that the whole family painted us a picture.
Hello, I'm John Martin with Confluence Brewing Company, president and head brewer. I'm here to talk about Ayana's Rhino Rye Double IPA. So a rye double IPA is sort of an offshoot of a regular double IPA. In 2007, an IPA was something different than you'd see today, potentially, with the rise in hazy IPAs that are soft and juicy. This beer was designed to be a little more aggressive. It's got a big malt bill. It's got a lot of rye. The rye adds a nice spiciness. It also adds a little weight and viscosity. And so you're going to taste a beer that has a really nice depth to it as far as flavor from the malt. But then we also put a bunch of really nice hops in there. Last year, maybe 2 years ago, we changed the way that we process the beer and the yeast that we use. We used to use the old Chico American Ale yeast 1056. We changed that up so that we're using the London Ale 3 now, and that adds to the complexity of the beer. This yeast is supposed to biotransform. We also added a double dry hopping, so we dry hop toward the end of primary fermentation to try to get some of that biotransformation and convert some of the less desirable flavors into more citrusy and tropical fruit flavors. So we've got that going for the beer. We also do a big second dry hop. This beer does run through the centrifuge, so it'll be more clear than a hazy IPA, but just know that it has that same process, and it's going to give it probably a little more body, a little more mouthfeel using that London Ale 3 yeast.
Hi everyone, my name is Sam. I am a sales representative for Confluence Brewing Company. About a year ago, before I even worked for Confluence, I used to harass a sales rep to let me help pour at Blank Park Zoo every Wednesday for Zoo Brew, and I never thought that just helping pour for the zoo would eventually get me a job at Confluence to be able to actually pet one of the rhinos. Ever since I was little, I've been infatuated with going to the zoo and seeing wild animals, and just even having animals around the house growing up. And again, I never thought that I would get the opportunity to actually pet a baby rhino, and the Blank Park Zoo offered that to me and gave that to me, and I'm very appreciative of that. I never knew that how a rhino felt. I never knew noises that they made, and in fact my first 30 seconds petting one of the rhinos was the noise that the babies made. It made me so happy. I also never knew that the rhinos had an upper lip that acted as a finger, so that was really awesome. And on top of that, I'm extremely grateful because I even get to work for a company that brews a beer named after Ayana, and it's been a great experience. I'm so glad that I get to be a part of the Blank Park Zoo and what they're doing for the rhinos, and I just can't express enough of my gratitude. I'm so glad, although we can't all be together in person, I'm very grateful that I can at least send a video from my patio at home to kind of contribute to the release of Ayana's Rhino Rye that Confluence is brewing, and I hope that everyone is staying safe and healthy, and I very much look forward to having Zoo Brew Days again, where I can sample out beer for everyone in the community and also get to be around the animals at Blank Park Zoo.
So as things change a little bit, we're still doing our curbside pickup. We're still doing some home delivery options. We're not sure when we're going to reopen our tap room. We're going to make sure that we're keeping it safe for everyone involved, so our patrons and our staff as well. So thank you for your continued support of Confluence Brewing Company. We've been working really hard to try to make great beer and try to bring a little joy into people's lives while this is all happening. And thank you for continuing to support the Blank Park Zoo. Their Zoo Brew is an incredibly fun and interesting event that we just look forward to every year. So it's going to be a little bit different, but it should be good.
So one of our goals early on in designing the brewery and developing what we want to be in the community was that we wanted to be Des Moines brewery. And so since day one, we've tried to support a lot of local efforts, a lot of charitable contributions to different businesses and organizations that also support the community. So we're just proud to be here in Des Moines, supporting Des Moines things, and we love the zoo.
Yeah, how cool is that? It is Ayana's Rhino Rye. Here is a can of it right now. And right now, you can order some of this just by going to the comments section. Just go over there and click on that, and you can order this through Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And the deal is you order it before Sunday night, and you can go to the zoo and pick it up on Tuesday and Wednesday night. So order this. So next time we do a Zoo Brew, we do another virtual Zoo Brew like this, you can have this in your driveway, in your backyard, or in your living room or your kitchen, and enjoy another Zoo Brew with Ayana's Rhino Rye. How cool is that? Speaking of cool, we have somebody else very cool joining us right now. Chris Eccles is the Chief Engagement Officer at the Blank Park Zoo. Hi, buddy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
This is something else. Doing a virtual Zoo Brew, it's a little different experience here.
It is.
The main point is to make sure people realize the work that the zoo is doing to help organizations all over the world.
Yeah, we do some really important work. We're here to save animals in the wild from extinction. That is one of our #1 goals, and our rhinos are a great story for that. We just do so much. We work with the International Rhino Foundation, and then we, of course, have our breeding program at the zoo.
Let's talk about that, because when the black rhinos first came to the Blank Park Zoo, everybody was so charged up about it. It made national news.
Yes.
No, that the Blank Park Zoo in Des Moines, Iowa, had a couple of black rhinos that were there, and then even bigger news when the baby was born.
Oh, yeah.
Which was really cool. But why was that such a big deal? You mentioned that endangered species, but why such a big deal about the black rhino?
Sure. So the eastern black rhino is a critically endangered species. There are only about 800 in human care and in the wild left. It's on? Off? Okay. So it is critically important that we add to the numbers, because those aren't great numbers when it comes to when you're thinking about the number of rhinos and the genetics. So we want to make sure we have great genetics. So if one day you can start putting rhinos back out in the wild, once there's a safe wild to go into, that we have the best genetics going out there. Wow. So Tumani and Kamara are critically important to the species overall. And then the mom, Ayana and Kiana, are just rock star parents.
All right, we're going to change out a microphone over here. This is live, folks. So we're live. Again, said Chris, but it's so important to make sure that these rhinos do keep going. We keep the bloodline continuing. Now, the one question that people had when we had Tumani, for example, they said, well, how long is the Blank Park Zoo going to be able to keep her? And then we had Kamara come along. Now we have 4 at the Blank Park Zoo. Is that going to remain constant, or are one of these animals going to be used to continue to perpetuate the situation here?
Sure. Tumani will eventually go to a new zoo and find her new partner, and then continue the line. So yes, she will be leaving us. I don't know exactly when, but she will be going to another zoo to continue that.
But that was the whole idea. The whole idea was to keep the breed and the species alive, and to keep the animals continuing.
Yes. Yeah. You can't keep them forever.
Right.
They will. Black rhinos specifically are solitary, so they will go out and do their own thing.
Okay.
So they don't really live as a family unit. So she needs to go out and do her own thing now.
Yeah, it's really sad that there are some cultures that still believe that some of the things that the rhino has as part of their anatomy, for example, are medicinal, when we know they're not.
No.
You have some things that you brought along with us. Some of the ones that come to mind right away, you can see it over here, is the horn. Explain what that's all about and why people, for some reason, are still trying to harvest that.
Yeah, so the horn is a really unique feature of the rhino. Of course, it makes it that unicorn that we all love. It is made out of the same thing as our hair and our nails. Nothing special.
So it's basically a fingernail.
Yeah, and it just keeps on growing. As they get older, it'll grow with them. So when they're babies, it doesn't look like they're any horn. Just like when you have a little baby infant, it doesn't look like they have that much hair. So, and as they grow, their horn will grow with them, and they'll rub on it and things like that. But yeah, it has no real value. The only thing that needs a rhino horn is a rhino. They use it to protect themselves, and yes, unfortunately, it is seen as something of value for medicine and things like that. But you can chew on your fingernails and get basically the same result which is nothing.
Yeah, so it's a shame that some people still believe that, but that's one of the reasons that they are at the critical levels that they are right now.
And it's about working with people. So conservation, when we come all back down to it, we love our animals and we want them to be in the wild and we want them to have the best lives possible, but you have to work with the people. And the people are the number one part of conservation. So it's understanding the reasons why maybe it seems like an important thing and the cultural thing. So you have to understand culture, you have to understand the people before you can come to a solution. And you have to come to a solution together. You can't just go in and be like, we're going to do this. You have to work with the people that are in that area.
Right, and things are progressing rather well. So again, great job out of everything the Blank Park Zoo is doing, and the black rhino, the crash of black rhinos. That's a new one here. I'm going to be using that all the time now over at the Blank Park Zoo. It's so cool. So when you buy a brew, you help support the Blank Park Zoo and conservation efforts all over the globe.
Yeah, when you anytime you come to the zoo, a portion of every dollar spent. So when you buy a beer, you buy a t-shirt tonight, you buy a koozie, you come to the zoo and ride the train, a portion of every dollar spent goes back into our conservation fund, which is so critically important. And then we can help our partners out there in the wild doing the work, working with the communities and working to learn more about those animals. So it's just important. You are saving animals in the wild from extinction when you come to the zoo, or you help buy a brew.
That's one of the things we really want to stress, is that when you come to the zoo, you're helping animals everywhere.
Everywhere.
That is so cool.
Even in your own backyard.
Even in your own backyard or your driveway, wherever you happen to be partying here tonight. You're not going anywhere, because we're going to talk to you a little bit later on. But you know, Blank Park Zoo and Zoo Brew, when it's live at the zoo, one of the biggest attractions at the Blank Park Zoo is when Pianopalooza shows up. Tony Bonenkamp and Jerry Lawrenson, and they are upstairs right now. And let's say hi to those two dudes. Tony, Jerry, are you guys up there?
Hi, Lou. Hi, Chris. How you guys doing? You're doing a phenomenal job. By the way, everyone in your living rooms, wherever you're watching, how about a big hand for Lou, Chris, all of the zoo people for putting on such a cool alternative, something we can actually do in this world sort of a thing. But we're super pumped that you guys have tuned in, and Jerry and I are just going to play a song now. We're going to play another song here in a little while, but we're keeping the focus on the zoo tonight. So
we're pretty excited about our Zoo Brew shirts.
Yes, that is correct.
I've got the Hoptimist over here.
We are both, our families are both season pass holders to the zoo, and so we are like super excited that we can not only give them the opportunity to put on this thing, but also they're like, hey, do you want to play it? And we're like, of course we do.
Zoo fanboys over here.
Yes, exactly right. So Jerry's going to play a song by his band that he wrote called Town Crier. And I'm going to stop talking.
In the night, I'm the one that you hold. In the light, I'm no more than a ghost. Set fire to what hasn't been sold. Let's ride and we'll make for the coast. Sent home a postcard on Saturday night. Hit the casino, we rolling them dice. She likes the red one and said let it ride. Then cashing out like a Bonnie and Clyde. We'll be home when the ground goes cold. Headed west till we find that gold. I'm alright and I'm caught in a fight with who you used to know. You used to know. How many times will you tell him goodbye before you let him go? Just let him go. Just one time, look me straight in the eye. I've got nothing but love, nothing but love. At the self-serve, we filled up the tank. The coast is good, but it just ain't the same. You can't be sure when you're saying my name. No finger pointing's gonna find me to blame. We'll be home when the ground goes cold. Headed west till we find that gold. I'm alright and I'm caught in a fight with who you used to know. You used to know. How many times will you tell him goodbye before you let him go? You let him go. Just one time, look me straight in the eye. I've got straight in the eye. I've got nothing but love, nothing but love. We'll be home, the ground goes cold. Headed west till we find that gold. I'm alright, and I'm caught in a fight with who you used to know. You used to know. How many times will you tell him goodbye before you let him go? Just let him go. Just one time, look me straight in the eye. I've got nothing but love, nothing but love. Just one time, look me straight in the eye. I've got nothing but love, nothing but love. Just one time, look me straight in the eye. I've got nothing but love, nothing but love, nothing but love, nothing but love.
That was my best friend and the biggest zoo fanboy I know, Jerry Lawrenson over there. Let's send it back down to our buddies Lou and Chris downstairs. What'd you think of that one?
There we go. Jerry Lawrence and Tony Bonacamp, Piano Palooza, live during the very first ever virtual Zoo Brew. How cool is that? Now, we've been keeping track of where some of the donations are going here today. We need to get the numbers popped up here because a little bit of money can help really generate a lot of really cool things, including purchasing enrichment items that help stimulate the animals both mentally and physically. Now, donations, big or small, doesn't matter what it is, they have a huge impact and provide the best possible care for the animals. For example, did you realize, obviously all the animals have to have some veterinary care, and a single wellness exam for an animal at the zoo could cost as much as $2,500. Put that in perspective when you go to the doctor and figure out what it costs you to go there. Another unique and really cool way you can support the zoo is do something that we've had a chance to be involved with a couple of times already, and it's an Adopt the Animal program. Now, there are more than 20 different animals that you can adopt at the Blank Park Zoo, and you not only help in the care and feeding of that one particular animal, you also help the conservation programs at the other animal organizations around the world. Now, here's what you're going to get when you adopt an animal there. You're going to get a certificate of adoption, as you see right here. You're going to get one of those, which is really, really cool. You're going to get a picture of the animal that you have adopted. You are going to get your name on the exhibit for a year. And how cool is that, by having other people that you know, friends and relatives, going to the zoo, seeing your name? I think mine's still on the rhino exhibit right now. So go check out and find that out. And you're going to have a couple of feed bundles that you'll get too, just by adopting the animal. So do something really cool. It could be the lion. It could be the tiger. It could be the sea lions. It could be the dart frog. The dart frog doesn't get very much love. Des Moines Area Rapid Transit, have you sponsored an animal at the Blank Park Zoo yet? What about the dart frog? Okay, does that make sense? Find a connection there. Make a connection with your family or your business and get your name on the signs. Help out the Blank Park Zoo. Help out the animals and animals around the world. Now, speaking of animals, how about we visit with some more animals at the Blank Park Zoo? And this is going to be cool because this is the first time ever we've ever tried this. Michaela's going to explain to us what's going on. This is pretty awesome. Check this out.
Hello, Zoo Brew crowd. Thank you so much for tuning in to our first virtual Zoo Brew. My name is Michaela, and I'm here with the assistant supervisor for the carnivore primate team, Katie. This is Keeper Kirsty and Keeper Daniel, and we are taking you on what might be the first ever virtual penguin feed. Obviously, this isn't live right now, but please, while you're watching this video, feel free and put your questions in the comments, because we're going to be in the studio answering those. So anything that you guys need to know about these cute penguins, let us know. All right, we are out front of the Magellanic Penguin exhibit. We got Keeper Daniel with us, and Daniel is going to tell us all about what is happening behind us. So, what kind of penguins are these, Daniel?
So we have here our Magellanic penguins. These guys are from South America, countries like Chile and Argentina. So they are actually warm weather penguins. I know we think of cold, we think of really, really, really deep cold when we think of penguins, but there's 4 cold weather penguin species and the rest are actually warm weather penguins, one of them being our Magellanic penguins.
So what are these guys eating?
So they are eating fish called capelin. They are fish that are about this long. They're gray and they really love those capelin. They sometimes also eat a fish called herring that they don't like as much. It's a little bit fattier, but this, sometimes they just can't get enough of these capelin. And we actually do fish prep every single morning to prepare these guys' buckets of food. So we have these really huge ice blocks full of frozen fish, and it's our job in the morning to break that apart and weigh out all the food that our penguins, seals, and sea lions are gonna eat. So we have to pick out all the good fish. So these guys currently are eating about 16 pounds of fish a day, and that's for our entire colony of 11 birds. So they're getting a little bit more in the morning, and then they get just a little bit less at night right now.
And these guys get vitamins daily as well, too.
That's right. So they get a calcium vitamin that helps with egg laying, and then they also get a few others just to supplement anything that might be missing in the fish. But that fish is plenty for them. They love it.
How many penguins do we have at Blank Park Zoo?
So we have 11, ranging from a chick. Her name is Chiquita. She was born last summer. And then our oldest birds are up in their late teens. And these guys can live to be about 30 years old.
And do penguins mate for life?
That is a great question. Penguins are in fact monogamous. They pick one partner and they are with that partner for life. So we have 3 mated pairs in our penguin colony. We have Pippi and Neon is one couple. 86 and Sparkles is another. And then 14 and 85. Those are our 3 mated pairs, and they will stay together for life. When we bring these guys inside every night to where they live indoors, they go into the same box every night. So just like you have a home and you go back home every night, these guys go into the exact same home every single night. I think that's really cool, personally.
And a couple of these guys are actually on eggs right now because it is nest season, right?
That's correct, yep. So we do have a couple birds sitting on eggs right now. And then they would hatch closer to June. So these guys sit on their eggs about 38 to 42 days.
And do they lay an egg every single season?
Yep, so these guys typically lay about 2 eggs every single year.
And do you have any penguins that are especially fond?
Any penguins I'm especially, you know, I'm glad you said it like that. You would never ask a keeper to pick their favorite animal, of course, but that's exactly what I'm gonna do. My favorite is probably 86. I think he and I are very similar. He is super grouchy in the morning and does not want to get out of bed. And I have to say, I really relate to that. We wake up pretty early as zookeepers, and sometimes it's a little more difficult than other times. So I think he and I are like on very similar wavelengths about that.
And because there are 11 penguins, how do you tell them apart?
Another great question. So if you look really close, you'll see every bird has an armband or a flipper band in their case, and those are different colors, and that tells us who they are. So every female penguin is going to have a band on their left flipper, and every male is going to have one on their right, and they range from colors like light and dark blue all the way to neon yellow. So that's how Neon got his name. We have pink bands, black bands, so we use a range of colors or combination of colors to tell everybody apart.
And these guys obviously don't fly.
No.
But what other activities do they do?
So you might see these guys porpoising. That's a really cool behavior. They swim really fast and then launch out of the water. It's super duper cool, and it's an easy way for them to get split-second looks at their surroundings. So in the wild, they would be hunting for fish or escaping predators, and they can't always see what's going on when they're underwater. So they might swim really fast, launch out of the water. While they're out, they'll look around, get a quick view, and then go back in, and that tells them everything they need to know. So you'll often see that, especially after they're done eating, when they're kind of full and excited, they'll start porpoising a lot. You might also notice them sitting out on the beach when they're done eating. So, you know, we get kind of full. Oh, I don't know if I can swim right now. They kind of do the same thing. And a lot of guests think that they get really cold after they eat because you might see them shivering. But that's actually part of their digestive process. These guys can digest really quick, and then they're ready for more food just like that. So they're not shivering. They are, in fact, just digesting their food.
And these guys eat twice a day, right?
That's correct. They eat at 10:45 and 2:45. Like I said, it's split about 16 pounds a day total between the two feedings.
And currently right now, the zoo is actually open back up to the public. So if you guys want to see these penguins, you can go to blankparkzoo.com and get a time ticket and come check out the penguin feeding.
I highly suggest it. The feedings are awesome. Everyone gets a good laugh out of them. These penguins are crazy. They have a ton of personality. They love food just like I do. So definitely make your way down. Come check out our birds. They are very cute.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for supporting Blank Park Zoo and supporting adorable penguins like these guys.
Yeah, it's so cool. You just get mesmerized by watching. You watch the penguins over at the zoo, and then you mosey on over, you see the sea lions and the seals, and you get mesmerized by them. You get mesmerized by about every animal that is over at the Blank Park Zoo. You also get mesmerized when you enjoy the tones and the strains of our favorite piano duo, Piano Palooza. Upstairs right now, ready to perform for us one more time, Tony Bonningham and Jerry Lawrenson.
You're trying to mesmerize. You're trying to live up to Lou's expectations down there.
But you guys are ready to rock and roll again here today. We miss you out at Zoo Brew because you play over in the area where Zoo Brew is, and the animals are digging it too. You're not too far away from where the rhinos are, so they're digging it.
We've gotten some nice testimonials from the camels, as a matter of fact.
See that?
But that was back from when it used to be in the one location. And now they wrote us and told us that they missed us. It might be a representative of the zoo that has the ability
It's only the
type.
dromedary camels that really like us, though. I don't know what the deal is.
And the lions miss you too from where we used to play.
I don't think the lions ever liked us, though.
All right, well, we know everybody else does. So
thanks, Lou.
You have that going for you, which is nice. But would also be nice. How about another tune, gentlemen?
Yeah.
What are we going to hear now?
And I'm going to do a song that I wrote this time, but I wanted to say real quick that one of my favorite things to do with my family is, since we can't go, we're, like we've said 1,000 times, we're both huge fans of the zoo. There are so many great videos on the Blank Park Zoo website that you can just go and click on, cast to your television, and it's like being able to, dictate parts of your own nature show that you can watch whatever you want, anytime you want. So interact with the zoo website because they have some really cool alternatives to in-public things. So anyway, I'm going to do a song that I wrote in approximately 1996, I believe. It's getting late and the rain is pouring. It's time to close my eyes, I'm leaving in the morning. There's something out there that's calling me. Yeah, I'm a little scared of what it might be. I held my girlfriend till we both cried. She said she'd wait for me, but I think that she was lying. Had one last beer with all my good friends. I said I'll see you soon, but it just depends. Going somewhere, I don't know where. Going somewhere, 'cause I've never been there. Going somewhere, I don't know where. But at least I'm going somewhere. 2 hours later and too many cigarettes. My heart was heavy, my mind was full on my... Don't smoke at the zoo, by the way. Driving into a tangerine sky. 300 horses to make me fly. Past an old man sitting down by the side of the road. Said, hey man, where you going? He said, well, I guess I just don't know. Every one of his 80 years was showing on his face. But you see, he's a lot like me. He's trying to find a different place. Somewhere, I don't know where. Going somewhere, 'cause I've never been there. Going somewhere, I don't know where. But at least I'm going somewhere. Guess life has a funny way of saying things that I can't say, and a funnier way of showing them to me. But if tomorrow I'll find a little more, and I've been like that. I can't remember the words of my own song. That's where I'll be. There's usually a really cool guitar solo in this part. 4:30 in the morning, my car, that was great, Lou. Thank you for that. Not another car in sight, no distant lights from other towns. I looked up into the big night sky, and a million stars told me that I'd get by. So I'll stay here, at least for now. There's too much in my head and I've got to clear it out somehow. I'll just lay here and dream for a while, and in the morning I'll drive a few more miles. Somewhere, I don't know where, going somewhere, 'cause I've never been there. Going somewhere, I don't know where, but at least I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. Thank you very much. That is a song I wrote called Somewhere. Let us send it right back down to the man of the hour, Mr. Lou Sippold, everyone.
Tony Bunny. Yeah, or Seipold. Either one will work. Yeah, okay. There you have it. Tony Bonenkamp and Jerry Lawrenson.
Jerry Lawrenson.
Lawrence. It's Tony and Jerry. There you go. Well,
Sorry,
folks,
Lou.
you're fine. I had to. You know I had to bust you. You know that, okay?
Of course.
Well, I've known you too long. We had to bust you for that.
Yes.
We are back with our buddy Chris Eccles, the Zoo's Chief Engagement Officer, to talk about something that really captured a lot of people's attention and really got people involved in their homes and their backyards and bringing nature into a little bit closer to home.
Yeah. So Plant Grow Fly is such a great opportunity because we talk about rhinos and lions and all those things that are so far away. What can we do? But we have some really cool things here in Iowa that we want to taken care of.
Yeah.
So monarchs are important to our landscape. Butterflies, hummingbirds, bees, all those pollinators out there we need.
Right.
We wouldn't have the food that we have without our pollinators.
And the thing is, a lot of us that are getting a little of the older variety remember when monarchs were everywhere.
Yes.
And milkweed grew in every crack in the street. It seemed like there was milkweed, but it disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very detrimental to the monarch, for example, just in particular, because that's their food source.
Yep, that's where they lay their eggs. They don't lay their eggs on anything but milkweed. So if you can't lay your eggs on things, then your caterpillars can't eat. And
Right.
so there if you don't have the caterpillars, you don't have the butterfly. So it's a very specific plant to the monarchs.
All right, so Plant Grow Fly
Yes.
was an effort to get more of these plants in your own backyard, the little bit that you can do, and to grow them and give the other animals a chance to fly.
Yeah, we believe every small little thing that we can do makes a big action. So plant a butterfly garden. If you don't have a big space, that's okay. You can put it in a planter on your porch or on your balcony. Anybody
Now,
can
does that
plant.
work?
Yeah.
Do the monarchs find it, really?
They will find it. If there's milkweed growing, monarchs will find it. You don't need to put a big out sign saying
You don't need neon signs saying milkweed
they
here,
know.
come and
They
eat?
know.
No, nothing like that?
They know where it is. So,
All right.
And it's their gas station. So any little bit that we can all do to make those little gas stations, little pit stops for all of our pollinators, we're helping out all of our pollinator friends.
Now, when people plant the milkweed, because the zoo provided some plants, last couple of years and some seeds. I know we all had that. We all started them. It took a little while, for some to get going. But once they get going, they're pretty hardy, aren't they?
Yes, they'll get going. So there's a saying, first they'll sleep. So you want to plant your garden and give it time. You're going to let the roots kind of just seep down into the soil so it's sleeping. So everybody's like, where are all these plants?
And it
Aren't
could
they
take
coming?
a couple of years.
It could take a couple of years.
Yeah.
Then it's going to creep. So it's going to creep along as it's getting its nutrients. And then by the third, fourth year, it should leap. So then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, there's all my awesome plants.
And is there anything cooler than to walk out to your garden in your own house and look at the milkweed plants that you have and then realize there's a little critter crawling on that milkweed plant
there's nothing
that you
like
have,
it.
unlike any that you've seen up close before.
Oh, it's awesome. When you can see that caterpillar, you see the egg, and as the caterpillars grow into their different stages and get bigger as they eat, it's amazing. I've seen it the last couple of years, and every year I act like a little kid. I'm like, I just get down into the plants and I look for them, and then I wait for them to go into their chrysalis, and then become the beautiful butterfly that they
Yeah,
are.
we put a camera on one last year. You guys were there when we did this, and we watched it through the whole developmental stage and then emerging as the absolutely gorgeous monarch butterfly. Then we took it from, we brought it to Urbandale, then we brought it back to the zoo, and then released the monarch where we got the plant from initially.
Yes, that's really important. So that's their habitat. That's where they know it's kind of their home ground. So it is important that they are at least released somewhere near where you found them. So
Right.
it's a great science experiment to watch, to watch the different stages of the caterpillars grow. Get your kids out there, look for them. Sometimes they're going to start really little, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger as you go. So it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty. Now, you wanted people to register their gardens when we started this a while back. How has that been going?
It's going well, even with everything that's going on. We're still getting registrations for our gardens, so you can register your garden today, tomorrow, in the next week or month or so, and let us know what you have in your garden. So you go to Plant Grow Fly, which is on Blank Park Zoo's website, www.blankparkzoo.com, and you can register your garden. It's free. We want to know is what's your garden's name? What kind of flowers?
You have to name your garden?
You can. It's always fun.
No, I think that's a new rule. You have to put that in there. You have to name your garden.
Yes,
okay.
name your garden. Tell us what plants you have, and then we'll send you a certificate to say you are this number of our whatever garden you are. We've had over 1,300 gardens.
Wow.
And then we'll send you some more information, and then you can get a sign just like this one here. It's about $10, and put that into your garden. Butterfly gardens aren't known for being very landscaped. So we want people to know that and to help promote the butterfly gardens, but also know like, hey, I'm helping out here.
Right.
I'm providing a habitat for our native animals.
Yeah, and it's so neat when you see the animals realize what you have, and then they realize that is the oasis.
Yes.
For all their travels.
It is.
Is going to be your backyard.
It is. And then we have this really cool koozie this year.
Okay, let's explain that.
The koozie has a monarch background on it, so it's to celebrate the monarchs and celebrate a Blank Park Zoo and the Plant Grow Fly program. Again, when you buy a koozie, a portion of every dollar spent goes back into the zoo, and 50 cents of this koozie goes back to help Plant Grow Fly. So we can get out seeds if we need to.
So this is like a pollinator koozie then, is it?
Yes, it's a pollinator koozie. It's going to help pollinate the world.
Pollinate the planet.
Exactly.
That is really neat. It is really such a cool thing you could do. Just something little, and you can do it in a pot. You can do it on the side of your home, and just draw the insects and the butterflies to your home, and the birds too.
And the birds,
they love that too.
Oh, the hummingbirds love it.
Yeah.
It's just so good to know that you're giving back in your backyard. So when we think about rhinos in Africa, that's great. But what we can do for locally is really going to make a big impact. And again, small things can make big changes.
Yeah, that is awesome. Plant and Grow Fly with the Blank Park Zoo. Chris, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
For everything you do, everything that the Blank Park Zoo does. And thank everybody for dialing in here today to keying us up here on the very first ever virtual Zoo Brew. Now, remember a couple of things to keep in mind here tonight. First of all, the naming of the baby macaque that was born on the 13th of May at the Blank Park Zoo. It's a little baby boy. It needs a name. And if you make a donation, you could name the baby snow monkey whatever you want. Of course, you have to be smart about this too. So just think about that. You can name I can hear Tony and Jerry upstairs laughing right now. So we're gonna talk to them here in a couple seconds, okay? But Tony has some ideas. But regardless, you can name the baby macaque at the Blank Park Zoo if you are the high bidder here today. That ends at 8 o'clock. Also, Keanu, the rhino, has 3 paintings for you in a couple of different packages, 3 different packages. Maybe it's a painting with some wine, or maybe with some beer. There's a behind-the-scenes tour involved, Zoo Brew passes, and some merch, maybe one of these shirts. One of these cool shirts that you want to get. That's part of one of the packages too. So go and check out all the different items that are available right there. And don't forget, adopt one of the animals. We talked about that. There's more than 20 animals you can adopt at the Blank Park Zoo. Everything from the sea lions, the camels, you name it, at the Blank Park Zoo, you can have an animal. And those special edition auction items, those end at 8 o'clock tonight. Now, something else you want to remember is some of the merchandise that's available, including the beer. Ayana's Rhino Rye is available for order until Sunday at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock seems to be the prime time, to keep that in mind. You have a chance to order that. You can also order the new shirt. This is one of the new Zoo Brew shirts. Here's the other Zoo Brew shirt here. The best beers are the ones we drink to save wildlife. That's That's your second option. There's some other merchandise that's available too. Get that done by 8 o'clock on Sunday, and you can pick it up at the zoo on Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon. So you can do that. It is such a cool deal. But before we go, Chris, you're here. You have a beverage of your choice. For you folks that are watching at home right now, if you're in your driveway, if you're in your backyard, you're in your house where it's nice and cool right now. First of all, if you got some new merch from Zoo Brew, you picked it up Monday and Tuesday, take a picture of you wearing your merch, watching Virtual Zoo Brew, and send it to us. Hashtag it. Make sure you send it to us. We'll even show it on Iowa Live if we get our hands on it first thing in the morning. So get that. Get pictures of your gatherings together so we can all celebrate together. But we are going to raise our glasses one more time to support animals on a local and a global level. Remember, your participation in Zoo Brew makes a huge impact on animals here in Central Iowa and around the world. As the shirt says, when you buy a brew, you support the zoo. So on behalf of all the animals that call the Blank Park Zoo home, thank you everyone for popping in tonight and checking out the very first Virtual Zoo Brew, one of the most fun summertime activities Des Moines has to offer. Until we can see each other in person and experience Zoo Brew the way it was meant to be at the Blank Park Zoo, please everyone stay healthy, take care of yourself, and let's all take care of animals. Cheers to everyone, and we'll see you soon. Tony and Jerry upstairs, thank you for your tunes here tonight.
Thanks, Lou. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody, and don't forget the Blank Park Zoo right here in Des Moines. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Iowa Live.